Hello, it's KRBrickBot, and Tobot Season 2 brought us not one, but two new Tobots. Or is that technically three? Yeah, a much more bigger, more interesting one. And something that combines. This is Tobot Twinpunch, a 2-in-1 combiner comprising two Hyundai cars. You can see there's a hook and jab. Those are the names of the two Tobots that make up the combiner here. He has two Koroids, so it looks like you can switch these heads out. And a collector card right on there, two front collector cards there. On the side here, H and J in a diagonal. Yeah, the box is also like two split colors. Hyundai Casper. These are two Hyundai Caspers, like two new mini SUVs that combine into big one boxing robot. Koroid mode here. There's a hook and jab, depending on the facial change feature. Of course, there's a display stand here, and then this is 2024 March. Of course, the Young Toys X Hyundai. This side, you also have another side of the box. The Hyundai Casper hook. And then Hyundai Casper jab. They all transform into Twinpunch. And of course, this is a much more dynamic Tobot of recent because it is a Symmetrical Docker. Something that combines side to side. So of course I pre-ordered this thing to get like 20% off. It first opened in the Kakao shop, oddly enough, so I opened up an account to pre-order it there. Because of course they have some pre-order bonus. Like the free Tobot Special Color keychain. Yep, it's glad I got this one randomly. I was afraid I was gonna get another Triton. Yeah, nice acrylic in the rare, the special edition non-canon color. Still have yet to get that one. The other keychain is a Tobot Sen. The police from the future. The police of the future. Oh, that's double-sided, that's mirrored. Oh no, it's just like printed on one side. It's a different type of acrylic keychain. You can write your name on here. Yeah, so the new Rescue Tobots get a little less than these full-size standing acrylic ones. Transformation since 2009. The Young Toys Mall opened up their pre-orders a couple of days later, and they were offering one of these keychains again, with their additional corresponding Koroid keychain separately. To the first 30 buyers, not the first 100, so that sold out almost instantly. Okay, that was much less of an incentive to get those little Koroid things rather than this special edition thing. So I guess my keyring collection is almost complete. Just need those Koroids and the Boom's little hanging keychain. And I'll have to wait a couple of weeks later to get a little extra 5,001 for a little snack. Literally. Yeah, so this does come with cards, with only two cards. One for the actual Tophone function, yeah, the main holographic split Tobot Twinpunch face, and then the pattern. That's a complicated pattern, maybe like a W. Then the other side is some nice metallic shinies. Like this one is a nice metallic shiny Tobot Twinpunch right in the middle, and then this one doing a uppercut! The Hyundai Casper is a new generation of mini EV. Utility vehicles. Like the Kia Morning Picanto. We miss Tobot D. Apparently the Casper was named after a skateboarding trick. Yeah, that has no relation to the Tobot characters that were made out of these cars. In blue and red, twinsies, we have Tobot Hook, the intense blue pearl one, and Tobot Jab, the Sultronic orange pearl one. That is very, very red. I don't know, might have preferred if one of them was more the green Casper, the dark khaki green. Because that's a more unique color and common color than blue, but on the other hand, you know, red and blue, they are very bright colors, so I guess I can see how they went for those more than the dark khaki green. So you can see there's the H and a J like integrated right into a straight white stripe on one side, mind you, so that is an interesting custom style. These may look identical besides the extra roof rack with the gloves on top, but these are two different trims of the Rio Casper. This one is the Essential Light without any roof rack here. That has a nice grill shape here. While Tobot Jab is a Active Plus trim that has two additional vent circles here. And also a lower bumper design grill change here. Yeah, so it looks like the parametric grill of the standard model is just, it's all on the tiny little grill here, while this is a more conventional parametric grill pattern right in the grill here. Oh, and if you're wondering, these two circles, like the little cheek circles, these are the main headlamps. Yeah, they've been painted black over white here, so maybe it's not as striking as the real LED lamps. And what is conventionally the headlights are actually the turn signals. You might have to get used to it to think that this is essentially what you'll be seeing on the night roads, while these are the turn signals. Well, yeah, these look like the real headlights, but they're not. Both of them have the 17-inch 6 rounded spoke wheel design. Maybe they could have made it slightly different with the 15-inch wheel design, but it's nice to have at least a unity in these wheel designs. And those look like black painted pins, so yeah, that's a nice color to blend in. The subtle details of the real car are nicely replicated here, like these rear view mirrors. They do have like little lines and circles on them that are LED lights on the rear view mirrors. There are little divot dips in the fender mud guards in the style of military Jeeps. Video research. Yeah, you have a nice door here, and then where is the rear handle here? It's right here. This, yeah, a new unconventional design, putting the handlebar of the rear design right here. Right under this tiny little circle that's supposed to represent maybe a tiny little smiley motif of the front of the Casper. Yeah, there's the cap, and then coming to the back here. Yeah, you see that is a nice painted parametric headlight that kind of gradients off into the center printed Hyundai logo. Both of them have the same rear tail lamps. Wait, if these are the tail lights, then these are extra tail lamps. Then where a license plate would go. But they also have two different exhaust designs. And yeah, obvious robot only kibble. As with this thing, yeah, this does not look like a actual car running board or foot ladder. Yeah, that's just a robot mode detail. Normally, when estimating the scale of these, I would just usually take the width for granted, since I've said how Tobot squished the length of the car. And, you know, even for the Rio Casper proportions, that looks kind of cutesy, you know, of course, which would be a perfect fit for Tobot's cutesy aesthetic. But learning from a early Twinpunch sponsored review, you can't beat those, but at least I can retell you some interesting behind-the-scenes information. These are actually a bit wider. They've been a bit stretched out than the Rio cars to accommodate all of this underneath, all of the transforming parts. A nice, like, clear matte ratchet panel. So the gear, you can see the ratchet gear here that also kind of looks like a car component. Yeah, so the width doesn't look too bad. So this does, I guess the length actually does look close to the actual real car. It's just slightly stretched out. But I guess you wouldn't notice if you don't know the cars very well. Yeah, so anyway, I measured these. These were the lengthwise, that's about 14 centimeters, so that's about 1/25th scale. So I guess the length should be the standard because the width is slightly stretched out, which is gonna throw off something a bit. This is about 8 centimeters, which is about 1/21 scale, which is Yeah, somewhere between 121 to 25. And this is, yeah, it looks like this Ioniq 6 is supposed to be in scale. This is about 122, as they said. They are supposed to be slightly smaller cars, maybe a bit taller than some sporty cars. Yeah, can we reach a middle ground and just say they're in the exact same scale as these cars? This looks like it would be in the same scale, but this is actually about close to 120 because the car should be slightly longer. Not by much, but maybe it's about the same length as this. So you can't access the corduroys right under here. They're just kind of hanging underside, upside down, where the driver's seat would be. Kind of funny to think. Maybe it would be better if they were right side up. But I guess they have giant heads, so... And you also have to get a good grip in there. It's really hard to tell exactly how they click in, but they click in very solidly, so... You don't have to worry too much about them falling out, but... Yeah, a bit of a struggle to get them back out. How do they do it? How does that, without any obvious connection points, click in, huh? Yeah, I guess they have little nubs. They have little nubs right on their hips that kind of just slide in, so... That's pretty secure. Yeah, so you have the little twinsies. The Koroyd hook and jab, H and J. And they both have little visors and... Or glasses. I guess hook... They're more of a standard glasses type design, so... I guess he looks a bit more elderly. He is the slightly older sibling after all. Okay, you can't see the... It's hard to see the Koroyd faces here, but... Yeah, jab is just kinda... That kind of gap mouth. Well, I guess, you know, Hook has a more neutral expression. Both of them have pretty sunken-in cheekbones. Tobot Twinpunch transformation. Tobot sold separately because they don't exactly have a pilot. Starting by removing all the stuff here, like this light rack. Now you can see the natural roof racks of this thing and the connecting holes. I suppose you can start by unlatching this wheel. And then, yeah, coming at this side first. Yeah, you see the bit of a tilt there, the angle slope tilt there, so that should unlatch first. This is a double hinge, which you have to pull. This is a spring. So you can get a line like that, so that's a pretty compact spring. But yeah, it has lots of tension, and I'm pretty sure the very edges of this paint and the Hyundai logo are going to be the first to go when recklessly playing with this by the kiddies, because yeah, this could obviously scrape on this could actually snap off. Yeah, so it's very compact, but kind of hard to work with. I imagine any new simpler version of this is going to have a bulging single hinge here. But because you don't want to work with this on small scale. Right side, you can get to the feet, rotate the foot. And then there's also a pull spring to rotate that kneecap and click it in. You can pull out this kneecap. Oh, watch out. Yeah, so double hinge here, hinge, 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 hinge. Then back to the top. And you can then fold down the arm. And then fold this side of the front window. Yeah, that kind of folds out like that. Bit of a slant. This is also it's not a spring, but you can pull the latch. Rotate that 90 degrees. Oh yeah, also rotate the car hood arm 90 degrees. Yeah, this way. Now you have one half of a robot. The other half should be the same way. Yeah, again, the pull hinge, pull double hinge. Oh, did I mention this is a matte clear hinge, clear plastic like Tobot toys usually do, that somehow work better than Hasbro's. Thus it can make functional, just purely functional pieces on clear hinges. Like this ratchet gear. Yeah, you can see actual working. You can see how this ratchet actually works. Oh yeah, then there's the other half. Then just smash the halves together. There are like 2 connection points, 3 connection points, 2 up here, and then 1 on the clear pieces. Finishing touches, fold up these roof bars, 180. And then yeah, make sure to find the right place to slot them in. There's little tabs where you can click out the little fifth. And then you can slide the mitts right over the robot hands. And then the Koroid goes right into these little holes right on that ratchet right there, in the inside there. So that was a certainly very unique transformation. All sorts of twists and turns to get to this Symmetrical Docker twin half and half big old Tobot. Big combiner Tobot. Yeah, I think there's some really neat tricks here. I mean, there's not much kibble. I guess there's just, you know, this car front hood kibble that kind of gets in the way a bit. But otherwise, that's pretty linear. That's a pretty linear Tobot. There's a good amount of mechanical detailing, like these front rivets that join the 2 halves together. Maybe it might be a bit plain with just the car doors forming the chest. No extra chest to give it a super chest. But this works pretty well with the white. So it's hard to see with the shoulder in the way, but you can move it to see there is a Koroid, boarding Koroid etched in there, as with some other mechanical detailing here. Yeah, so this is where the extra Koroid goes when there's 1 head at a time, so... Yes, you can just pull it out and then switch the head. Not exactly sure how that helps in combat, but I guess, you know, as Hook, he delivers like big old hooks, and then as Jab, he has stronger jabs. I guess depending on which head is in control in a Flash, they just have different combat styles. Yeah, they just kind of, you know, materialize Flash. They don't exactly pop out and just go hopping in like that. That'll be fun to see if they would have to physically move, but they just kind of materialize in the Flash in the show just for convenience. Anyway, yeah, so that goes in here. Yeah, I guess the red jab is the default head. Maybe because he has a stronger crest. Incidentally, the Twinpunch Koroids have the same body shape as Tobot A, so you can do this. That clicks in. Of course, this doesn't transform because that head's a bit bigger, but... Yeah, so you can have a differently faced swapping gimmick. That could be a story point. Looks like the animation model tweaked it, making these tires rotate all the way here, and also casting these in the same gold as this. Looking at the lower leg details, yeah, it's still very unique. It's still that's still very great innovating to fold the 2 halves of the car, the rear car over, and also bring the wheels closer together. That kind of looks like a truck trailer, but it's from a car. Yeah, so there's a little nice mechanical detailing here. Little lines, jab etched in there, and an arrow etched in here, I guess to help someone just read the direction of where to move this part. Bit hollow in there to make room for the leg, to make room for the foot. Then on this side, there is a star on his knee. The side of his knee. The side of his, yeah, and then a kneecap that's a little too low to the knee. That doesn't actually cover the knee. In a brighter gold plastic. This is nice solid gold plastic. Yeah, there's pretty much the same on the other side, except, you know, of course there's Hook etched in there. And also the Young Toys information here. yeah, it's great to see where the front of the car goes. Off to the shoulders, like nice shoulders with the wheels in front. And the other half of the car, like here. There's even some details here, like there's the new Tobot logo on the upper bicep and then a J right on the elbow. Of course, an H on this side. And even the boxing mitts have an extra Tobot logo etched on them. Raised ones. Yeah, so about the boxing gloves. According to the designer interview, they added these boxing mitts for the main purpose of just extending the arms because, I guess, as it is, these arms come up a little short, so I guess with some slightly bigger hands that slightly extend the length, they kind of make it a bit more naturally proportioned. And they just ran with the boxing theme from there. I guess they added the extra boxing motifs, like the champion belt, painted gold here, star right in the middle, big old T, on a ridiculously thin waist if you look at it. The shoes also look like boxing shoes. And I guess even the Koroyd heads, they do kind of look like the padded sides of the boxing helmets. And I guess for Hook, he also kind of look like he has a little band. Headband, headphone band. I guess that was the same mindset with Deltatron. You know, Deltatron had these big old gauntlets, and they also went with the boxing theme and combat skills. Although, yeah, this one makes much more of an impact because these are big gauntlets that really bulk up the arms, while these are just tiny little mitts. These are just little mitts that just kind of cover the hands. Yeah, also this one pops out easily, so... Yeah, I guess Twinpunch is going to be carrying Deltatron. I mean, carrying his legacy. The replacement boxer. It's quite unusual to think they're doing boxing Tobots again, but Twinpunch is much more deliberate in the boxing motif. And that makes him the third boxing Tobot. Or the second boxing Tobot in the main Tobot. Articulation, a nice head swivel. Almost goes 180. Bit of soft ratchets. And they're kind of like pull springing ratchets. Oh, wait, can you actually pull these shoulders? No, not really. Yeah, you just have to tilt them down. So, of course, the kibble kind of gets in the way, and they don't have many clicking points on these things for some reason. No, actually, I think they do. It's just that, you know, this block here that kind of gets in the way, it kind of pulls on it, so it doesn't exactly lock in and kind of no, the outward at all, only the transformational inward. That's gonna be annoying. Then the soft click 2 click back for the transformation, then nice ratchety clicks, multiple clicks for the elbow. Of course, no biceps on that very short upper bicep. No waist swivel because this splits in two, but the legs, they have good motion. Like, all the way forward, a bit more forward, and then all the way back. Even with the kibble. Nice. Almost perfect spread, but maybe don't need that much. Thigh swivel, and another thigh swivel for the transformation. Just really accordion the transformation, so that's rare double thigh swivel in the same directions. So you can have awkward knee bends like that. And then, I don't know how useful the side rotating feet will be. Yeah, I guess, you know, because it has to combine like this, I guess there's not much articulation, but maybe just decent enough for leg poses at least. You know, Tobot may be back down to cars and only cars all the way down. But it just shows that you can make something interesting with just cars by making it a symmetrical docker and giving it a very unique transformation. So I guess it will be a fun experience to try this type of symmetrical docking transformation. And Young Twins really seems to kind of love this kind of thing because Tobot Twinpunch is not their first symmetrical docker, or the first one again, or the second. Yeah, so of course Tobot Twinpunch is the only one that's actively in stock and available, but there is a history and different styles of modern Choryujins. like the Voltron mecha style. Although this version is technically not a mecha, but just a pretty small robot that kind of aesthetically doesn't match. Or more of the fantasy type, fantasy mecha dragon type. Or the more realistic down-to-earth type. Made of cars, no less, instead of trucks. But Twinpunch here is the only one that has forward moving elbows. These guys only have curling elbows or no elbows at all. Yeah, so hopefully Tobot Twinpunch will be a good middle ground for the real OG Tobot fans and the Tobot toy fans who might prefer more of the super powerful greenness. Yeah, even if they're gonna go all with just boring old cars, then if you make those boring old cars transform in an interesting way, then maybe you can keep those Tobot toy fans. And this transformation is a bit more complicated than others. Yeah, but I guess it's more of a puzzle arrangement type of complicated. And, you know, these also do align perfectly. Perfect interlocking. So, yeah, even if you have to, you know, double check and remember exactly how does this double leg joint go. Exactly how does that go. And then remember to unlatch the knee and then pull this carefully so as a collector you don't accidentally scrape the paint and or break this Hyundai badge off. And in spite of all that, I guess, yeah, and maybe even if you do it a couple more times, and still might be a little confusing exactly how where goes where, but this is something more challenging, but not too challenging, where it's like a real adult Transformer toy, where it's just needlessly overcomplicated, with like tiny bits, but these are all nice large chunks that, granted, could get a little clashy with each other. But I guess if you, it's maybe a bit of a memory game, so if you eventually remember where all these parts should go, then yeah, like that. If you eventually remember where they all should go, then, and if you remembered how to put the gear on the underside, so I guess that's a good reason for making that clear also, so you remember which side that goes. So I guess this is a bit more complicated than your average Tobot, but this is still pretty good transformation, still very unique challenge, and also it's all still solid together. Even if it's all super complicated, you don't have to worry too much about breaking this thing on like other complicated Transformer toys. Yeah, so yeah, just kind of jam it all together. Just you can squish it all together to eventually get the car. Alright, story time. Yeah, so Hook and Jab kind of mysteriously appeared, I guess, shortly sometime after Tobot A was created. Like when the global group requested Dr. Franklin Char to make a new Tobot for the Koroid they purchased, they mutually agreed. The synopsis kind of spoils all the three parts of the Tobot Season 2, and the second and last episode just get to where Hook and Jab might have came from. They were apparently built by some elderly inventor. Yeah, another Tobot inventor that's not part of the main family, who apparently is somewhat related to the mysterious Dr. M, who they say they will be revealing the identity of this season. So that's gonna be they're finally gonna be resolving something that's been looming overarching since Tobot, nearly since the beginning. And then since revealed since the end of the last series, and just kind of leaving off the cliffhanger, but now they're gonna finally resolve that and hopefully also make new stories from there once they reveal that. Exciting things to look forward to the story. These new Tobot characters are cool and all, but make way now. You know who's coming back.